Hey, this is a video on expanding your algebra skills. And that is a bit of a play on words because we actually are expanding binomials together here to be able to do that. So make sure you're taking this down into your notes. You don't have a handout today to fill in, so you're going to need to copy this down and try these questions first before actually listening to the rest of the video if you get a chance. If you have no idea how to do it, then of course watch the video. But if you have an inkling of what you should be doing, maybe give it a try and then, or think about it at least first, and then watch the rest of the video. You always have that option to put me on pause at any time. But of course you want to finish the video at some point. So example number 1, we're going to determine a simplified expression for the area of this given rectangle. So what I've given you here is the length of this side is 3x plus 10, and the width of that rectangle is 2x take away 5. And you should know at this point that the area of any rectangle is just the length times the width. All right, so when we want to do a simplified expression for the area, we're going to take length and multiply it by width. My expression for length here is 3x plus 10. So we're filling that length in with 3x plus 10, and then that has to multiply the width, which is the expression 2x take away 5. All right, so we have learned how to multiply binomials here. We're going to take player 1 from team 1, and it's going to multiply all the players on team 2. So 3x times the 2x, 3 times 2 is a 6, and then x times x we know can be written shortly as an x squared. And then we have 3x times the minus 5, so a positive times minus is minus. 3 times 5 is 15 with an x. So its job is done, and now it's player 2's turn to multiply over the other team's players. So we've got plus 10, it's multiplying a 2x, a positive 2x, so that's a plus. 10 times 2 is 20, and we have 1x to go with that, so 20x. And then we have a positive 10 times a minus 5, the outcome will be minus, positive times negative will be minus, and then 10 times 5 will be 50. And now it's a matter of collecting any like terms. The only like terms are the ones here in the middle. So we still have 6x squareds at the beginning, and then minus 15x add 20x, so the sign in front goes with it. We're going to get plus 5x, and then we still have a minus 50 to go with that. So there's a simplified expression for the area of that rectangle. Okay, we're going to extend our skills a little further from yesterday. If I didn't have this 2 in front, I would have a question just like we did yesterday. So we're going to treat it just like yesterday. The only difference is I'm just going to copy that 2 down in front, and then I'm going to just use brackets here and do the math, the expanding of the binomials, like I did the other ones. So 3x's times 2x's is 6x squared, and then we have 3x times the plus 6, that's going to be 18x's. Its turn is finished, and now it's the minus 5's turn. It's going to multiply the 2x to get minus 10x, and then the minus 5 multiplies the plus 6, that's going to be minus, and 5 times 6 is 30. And then we close off that bracket. And then like yesterday, we're going to look at what we have as like terms. We have a plus 18x and a minus 10x. They can go together to be plus 8x. So we'll have 2. The 6x squared stays there. We said plus 18x minus 10x will be plus 8x, and we still have a minus 30 with it. So everything's the same. The only difference, I've kept that 2 out in front. Now at this point it says I have 2 times everything in this bracket. I have 2 times everything in this bracket. So 2 is going to multiply the 6x squared, it's going to need to multiply the 8x, and it's going to multiply the minus 30. So when we do that multiplication, 2 times 6 is 12 with the x squared. The 2 times the plus 8 will be plus 16 with the x, and the 2 times minus 30 is going to be minus 60. And that's it. There's nothing more to simplify on that one. Okay, looking at part B. Now we said yesterday, when you have that exponent 2, that's a short form for writing that binomial out twice. That just means x take away 4 times x take away 4. Or be nice, write that out twice. Be nice, write it out twice. All right, so I'm going to actually do that. Be nice, write it twice. I'm going to rewrite that, whoops, as equals x take away 4 times x take away 4. And then we have our takeaway, and I can actually start this multiplication process here. I have to take away the product of 5x take away 2 times x take away 1. So I'm going to take away that answer that I get when I multiply those two things together. I'm going to take my 5x, it's going to multiply both these terms. So 5x times x will be 5x squared. And then 5x times the minus 1 is minus 5x. And then it's minus 2's turn. Minus 2 is going to multiply x, and it's going to be minus 2x. And then minus 2 is going to multiply the minus 1. A minus times a minus will be a plus, and 2 times 1 is 2. All right, now we'll get on to the next line here. I'm going to start the binomial expansion for this one. This pair, we've got our x take away 4 times our x take away 4. That first x has to multiply everything in that second bracket. So we're going to get x times x is x squared. The x times the minus 4 would be minus 4x. And then it's the next term's turn. The minus 4 multiplies the x, and that's minus 4x. And the minus 4 multiplies the minus 4. A minus times a minus is a plus. 4 times 4 is 16. All right, now we still have our subtract and then the brackets, and inside that pair of brackets I could collect these terms. The minus 5x and the minus 2x could go together. So I still have my 5x squared. Minus 2x minus 5x minus 2x is minus 7x. There. And then we still have our plus 2 on the end of that before we close up that bracket. So these are pretty tricky questions. There's lots of places that you really have to pay attention and make sure that you don't go too fast and skip too many steps, because that's when problems occur. All right, looking up at this line above, we've got x squared, and then we have a minus 4x and a minus 4x, which can be combined to be minus 8x. And then we still have our plus 16 here. And then we're going to take away everything in this second bracket. We've got this takeaway, or think of it as having a negative 1 that has to multiply through the bracket here. So if I multiply everything by negative 1, it's going to switch all our signs. We're going to have a minus 5x squared. If we're taking away a negative 7, that becomes a plus 7x. And then we're taking away positive 2, that's going to be a subtract 2. All right, so we're multiplying negative 1 through the bracket. And then we're looking for like terms. So I've got x squared and a minus 5x squared. They're going to go together and become minus 4x squared. I have a minus 8x and a plus 7x. A minus 8 plus 7 is minus 1x, or just plain old x, minus x. And our last one we have, plus 16 minus 2 should be plus 14. So there is our final answer written in descending powers of x. Hopefully that makes sense for you. There's one more example after this on the next slide. The question here is determine a simplified expression for the shaded area. So we would have done this back in grade 9 when we worked with rectangles, and we would have worked on finding the area of the large entire rectangle, and then we would have probably subtracted the white rectangle that's inside. So if I could find an expression for the area of the entire rectangle and an expression for the area of the smaller rectangle inside, I then would subtract those two answers to get the overall shaded area. So you can break it into pieces and then do your subtracting, or you can set it up as one equation and do it all at once. It's totally up to you. I'm going to record this on another video, a solution, but I would like you to put, once this finishes, try the question on your own, and then you can go to the second video and check your work on that one.